Have you ever wondered why your videos and images just don't look right? It's all about aspect ratio. In this Ultimate Beginner's Guide, we'll break down exactly what aspect ratio is and provide you with practical tips and techniques to create high-quality visual content that will stand out from the rest. Let's get started. Aspect ratio is the proportional relationship between the width and the height of an image or video frame. It's expressed as two numbers separated by a colon, such as 16:9 or 4:3. The first number represents the width, while the second number represents the height. There are many different aspect ratios, but some of the most common include 16:9, 17:9, 9:16, and 4:5. Each aspect ratio uniquely impacts the visual composition of the image or video, affecting how it is framed, cropped, and viewed on different screens. For instance, a wider aspect ratio like 16:9 is ideal for displaying landscapes or wide shots, while a more vertical aspect ratio like 9:16 is perfect for mobile devices and social media platforms. The aspect can also affect a video or image's perceived mood or message. For example, a square aspect ratio like 1:1 can give you a sense of stability and balance, while a stretched aspect ratio like 17:9 can convey a cinematic feel. Did you know that the shape and overall quality of an image can be affected by something as small as a single pixel? That's right, the pixel aspect ratio, or PAR, refers to the ratio of width of a single pixel to its height, and plays a critical role in determining how images and videos display on a screen. For example, a pixel of a PAR of 1:1 appears as a perfect square, while a pixel with a PAR of 2:1 appears as a rectangle that's twice as wide as it is tall. In video production, pixel aspect ratio can also affect the way that the video appears when it's stretched or compressed. If the pixel aspect ratio is not set correctly, the image can appear distorted or stretched out of shape. It's important to ensure that the pixel aspect ratio is set correctly when working with video to ensure the highest quality output. Choosing the right aspect ratio can be challenging, but it's essential to get it right to ensure your content looks its best. When choosing an aspect ratio, there are several different factors to consider, such as the content's purpose, the intended audience, and where the content will be displayed. For example, when creating a film, a wider aspect ratio such as 2.39:1 or 2.35:1 may be preferred when creating a more cinematic feel. On the other hand, a 16:9 aspect ratio is commonly used in video production as the standard for most modern displays. For social media, vertical video with a 9:16 aspect ratio is becoming increasingly popular due to its mobile-first nature and is incredibly user-friendly on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Different aspect ratios can affect how the image or video appears on different devices and platforms. For instance, a square 1:1 aspect ratio is popular for Instagram posts and can create a more balanced and aesthetically pleasing composition. However, the same aspect ratio may not be suitable for film or video production. That's why it's critical to consider the intended purpose and audience when choosing the right aspect ratio. Working with aspect ratios can be a fun and creative aspect of visual storytelling. One of the key factors to consider is framing and composition. When working with different aspect ratios, consider how to frame your shots and how your subject will be positioned within the frame. Aspect ratio can create visual interest and enhance storytelling. For example, you could use a wider aspect ratio to capture a panoramic view of a landscape, or a taller aspect ratio to emphasize the height of a building or a person. On social media, you can experiment with creative aspect ratios to make your content stand out, such as using a square aspect ratio for Instagram or a vertical aspect ratio for TikTok. By playing around with aspect ratios, you can add depth and dimension to your videos and create a more engaging viewing experience. Aspect ratio is an important element of visual content creation. Consider the purpose and intended audience of your content when choosing an aspect ratio, and don't be afraid to experiment with different options to create a unique and engaging viewing experience.